Well, hello. So glad that you're here today. We're glad we're here too. It's not just for you, we don't show up just for you. We show up for ourselves as well.
That's right.
This is the daily reset for success because we do need to reset. And I'm finding that, we need to reset almost every day. So that's why we're here. People ask, why are you doing a daily show, Marian? Well, you know what? It's all about me, right? No, it's all about all of us. We're all in this together. And unfortunately, things happen to us and we need to reset. And so this is a great way to do it. We have wonderful co hosts on, we have stories, we have pictures, we have interesting facts. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So today is no
Sure is.
exception. We have some wonderful information to share with you today. My co hosts today are Lady Lou
Hey, Lady Lou.
and Christi Ruiz. Hey, Christi, good to see you.
Hi, y'all. Good to see you girls.
We're so
Love to
tickled
be
that
with you
you're
girls.
here. We just have been waiting for this talk show today, our chat. So you're going to talk about business tips for the tough
Yes.
times. Well, what exactly does that look like, Christy?
Right, for the difficult time. Well, difficult.
Uh-oh. We're having,
Anytime that we don't know where we're going, we lost the focus, the light at the end of the tunnel, it's that type of thing. And that happens all the time to business people. It's not just once a year or coronavirus or it happens a lot.
I know.
You start out, you're focused, you're sure that you know what you're going to do, and you're passionate about it. And what was I doing? How come I got off track? How come I'm doing something that has nothing to relate with my business? And
Okay, so here's the
does
deal.
that happen to us all the
Wait,
time?
wait,
Yeah,
Christy.
We go
yeah,
off on a tangent, we go
yeah.
somewhere else.
Here's the deal, Christy. Your internet is so low now that we can't even understand what you're saying. So can you reboot and come back?
Huh.
Sorry, it's really bad.
Yeah, you're in and out.
Sure. I'll try and
Thank
reboot.
you. In
Okay.
the
Sorry.
meantime, Marian, you tell us some
Uh,
tips that you can think about for business owners. Because I know you know a bunch.
Whew. It is really something about business tips for difficult times. Okay, so yes, I've been thinking a lot about this since we decided we were going to have Christy on, who we absolutely love. And she's got really good information, so I'm sure she's going to cover a lot more than I'm gonna. Now, she didn't reboot her computer; she just went out and come back and came back in. So let's double check.
Okay.
okay. Let's see. How am I doing? Is it better?
It is better actually.
See? Sometimes it's just that. Whatever. But I was saying that, we get off track. We have a passion. We're focused on our business. And as we get into the business and we start doing it, we run off on a different track and we're going, wait a minute, this isn't part of my business. I'm doing something else that's taking away time from my business. And it's
Okay,
very
so Christy, I'm going to stop you right there because that
Sure.
happened to me this morning. Okay, somebody
Yep.
called me and said, "Hey, would you do this for my audience? I'll pay you." And I
Uh,
thought, that's going to take my time away. I'm already stretched pretty heavy, and yes, she'll pay me, but is it taking me away? Is it going to veer me in a
right.
direction that I really don't? But I hate to say no to, a business colleague who's asking me to help her with her audience.
Right, but you have to think back. What was the original focus? What was my passion? Why is it that I'm doing what I'm doing? And does it correlate with that or does it not?
It does, but it would keep me
Yeah,
off
take too
focus.
much time off of the other
It
things.
would
Yeah,
take too much time, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
me, I'm like,
No, you can't do that. No, even though it's money, which is great, but it would take too much time away from what you already are doing. And if you
Right.
want to do it well, we have to stay focused and have certain slots for what we do.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, do you have a business tip on how to say no to this wonderful person?
Oh, of course. You tell her exactly the truth. You're upfront and say, hey, I've already got everything scheduled. I don't have any time to put anything else in my schedule at the moment.
Yeah,
Maybe in 6 months, in 3 months, I may have time.
that's
Okay.
good. And
Because,
maybe you could refer her to someone else.
yeah, that too. But that's usually hard to do because they're looking for you personally.
Yeah. They're looking for my
Yeah.
skill set.
That doesn't usually work. I've tried that and it doesn't work. One of the things that I want to let people know is they should always be prepared for the unexpected.
Oh,
And what are we talking about? We're talking about keeping a positive mindset and having a lot of faith in what you're doing and your passion. And
Oh, there she
so
goes
you
again.
don't want to lose that. And that's very easy to stop. Am I gone again?
You're fading
Am I
in
back?
and out. Well, you kind of come
Or
in,
is
you
it
kind of
gone,
go
gone?
out. Yeah.
Oh,
Did you reboot your
no.
computer or just come out and go in here?
I just came out and went back in.
Yeah.
Should
Sorry,
I reboot it?
Christy. Would you please?
Okay,
I'm
I'll do
sorry.
That's okay. Sure.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Darn.
we won't
I-
lose her for long. She'll be back.
Right. And you
Well,
know, nowadays our internet is taxed because of all the COVID. People are working from home, and there's so much more drain on the resources. This kind of stuff happens, and
oh
you know
yeah,
what? That's what she was talking about. You got to go with the flow. You got to go with the unexpected, right? Be okay with going with the unexpected. It's like, whoops, you know. Whoop.
it happens, and we're okay with it. I hope you are too, because Christy will be back. Because
Yes.
I know she's got some really good stuff for us. So in the meantime, let's kind of look at some of the things that you might have that have gone wrong. You might say, well, this particular customer said they were going to hire me for thus and so, and they never came through. Well,
That's happened to me.
yeah, maybe part of it is that you didn't follow through, or that they didn't follow through, or there was miscommunication. And you have to look at both sides, your side and their side, and then communicate with them. Hey, listen, you said you were going to let me do such and such for you, and I never heard back from you. And then they say, oh, I forgot. Oh, I still want you to do it. Thank goodness you saved the sale. Or they say, oh, I found somebody else. Then, yeah, next. But it's the communication aspect that a lot of us fall down on. I have to say that I had a client recently, well, a lady who was going to be on our show, and I sent her an email on May the 5th and asked her some questions. And then on June the 5th, she sends me an email. And I thought, well, she waited a whole month. I've already rescheduled that because I didn't hear back from her. But I fell down on the job because I didn't communicate and I forgot. I sent it off. Ball was in her park, as they say. And she dropped the ball. And then I dropped the ball. So sometimes that makes enemies. So we have to be very careful and communicate. Right, Marian?
Communication is very important, and a lot of us do fall down with that. Even even the people like me who are really good communicators fall down because why? We're busy, or we just don't want to be bothered at the time, or family issues, or we get real busy. There's a lot of different reasons why it could happen. So what we have to do is to remember that and stay calm and don't put out negative emotions and feelings towards these people,
Right.
because you could be the next person that someone has that thought about, like, you didn't communicate with me and now I think badly of you. So if we can all just calm down and relax a little bit and just say, I wish you would have communicated earlier. I'm so sorry, I've already filled that. that type of thing, instead of getting mad or whatever. Because
Yeah.
people are people. We're humans. So some of the other tips that I've been thinking about this morning, I was listening to Brian Hilliard, and he's a big coach and speaker. He's spoken all over the world. And one of the things he talked about this morning was having a to-do list. And when you look at this to-do list, it could be on a big bulletin board or a whiteboard, or it could be a piece of paper or a Word document. It doesn't matter where it is, but you have all these things that you want to do, and then you pick out the top 3 things that you want to accomplish today, so that you don't think, oh my God, I got all this to do, No, you just look through the list and go, okay, I'd like to do this, and I'd like to do that, and I'd like to do this. And then you time block those things in, and you rotate your priorities. So you might have a priority of your husband or wife or girlfriend or your dog. You might have a priority of, a side hustle, or, your house maintenance. There's a lot of things that go on that might take priority that day. So every day, if you look at your list, take the top 3 things you'd like to get done, and then prioritize it in a matter of what's more important that day. Then you don't feel so bad. You can't make yourself a priority every day. You might have a leak in your bathroom, and that's a priority.
Well, also, a lot of times I have found that if I go through my list the night before, just before I turn off my computer or quit for the day, I will review my list so that my subconscious mind says, oh, she's got these 3 things that she's going to do tomorrow. And it starts working on them while I'm asleep. And then I get up the next morning and I look at my list. Oh, yeah, I've got those 3 things. And my mind has already been working on it while I was asleep. So I charge right in, and it seems to get done quicker and easier if I look at it the night before.
Fantastic.
Might try that.
We've got some questions or comments in the audience. So
Good.
Let's see what we got here. Peggy says, keeping a good attitude and keeping faith strong, plus a backup plan, helps us so much for the unexpected. Yes, that goes back to what Christi was saying. There are things that are unexpected to happen. One of the things I was talking about, you're having a leak in your ceiling.
Yeah.
That happened to Lady Lou the other day. So she had to make that a priority, right?
Yes.
Unexpected, a leak. Oh, no.
Yeah. But it got handled, and today we put the mud up, so it's starting to look like a ceiling again.
Excellent.
But it has to dry. Everything has to dry overnight, so it's a slow job.
Yeah.
And the painting will be next. There's Lauren.
Yeah, hey, Lauren. And Lauren says, communicating the message of communication is very powerful. Thank you, ladies, for bringing this message forward. Loving it.
Oh, thank you, Lauren.
Lack of or bad communication can take a huge corporation down. I'm not just talking about, your partner or, a 10 people office. I'm talking major corporations have gone down because of communication. So if you can take a class on it, if you feel like you're not a good communicator, you need to work on that. Take some classes, courses, see a therapist if you need to, because that's how important communication is. Now, Lady Lou and I, we have a client, a mutual client together. We're working on a course for her, and she's a psychoanalyst. And one of the things she was talking about is communication, and she's got some really good tips on it. It's a fascinating subject, and one of them is on conflict. Okay, so let's say you need to communicate something, but you're feeling very agitated about it, right? Maybe now is not the best time to mention it. Maybe you need to wait the 72 hours. She has a 72-hour, what is it called? 72-hour hold pattern or something.
Something like that, yeah. And it works.
You can't talk about it with anybody. You can't call the person, text them, rage texting, all that. Nothing for 72 hours. Well, what does that do? She says it calms you down the inside, your feelings, your emotions. because that's what she does with, right? Emotions. How do you feel about that tip, Lady Lou?
I love it because it makes sense if for nothing else. Because if you start talking about something that's very raw, it really hurts or it's painful physically even, and you keep talking about it, you talk about it, and you talk about it, all you're doing is keeping it stirred up. And if you don't talk about it, it levels out. And then you can deal with it once you've gotten your emotions settled in, and your mind can take over, so the subconscious mind can allow it to be resolved between the two parties, if it's a two-party thing, or if it's in something even bigger. But it helps to get that levelness so that you're not in a turmoil.
Okay, so one of the things that I have found that really helps, and it takes someone else saying this to me. I'm not telling you that I do this every time. I need so if you're my friend, you need to tell me this if I'm upset. Well, Marian, how are you going to feel about this tomorrow? How are you going to feel about this a week from now? A month from now? A year from now? 5 years? Will you even remember this happened?
Exactly.
How important is it really to stress yourself out and freak out about this, whatever that problem is? So use that tip on me when I'm upset, and I'll use it on you, and we'll see how it works.
It does work because you stop and think about it. I mean, I've had some horror things that have happened. I don't remember them. I don't choose to. And I've had some wonderful things that have happened to me, and I choose to remember those.
Yeah.
My nephew and I were talking about that today while he was up there putting the mud, and I was holding the ladder. That's all I can do is hold the ladder. He was talking about my mother because she had dementia the last year of her life. And she said, I didn't know this. He said she told him, "You're fired," because he would buck her on some things that she shouldn't be doing or that he needed for her to do. And he said, "She fired me several times." And I didn't know that. And he says, "It's okay. I'm family. You can't fire me."
That's funny. Karen says, aren't we thrown curveballs daily? It's how we react to that act, emotion, or whatever is putting us in that mindset. Yeah, that's true. Well, guess who's back? Christi.
Is he back? Oh, good.
It took forever. That's why I didn't want to shut it down and start over.
Oh, but it's okay. You look great, and we'll go over time, Christi. We don't want to cut you out of this time. We'll go over time. So because I know you have a lot to say, so you go for it.
Yes, we're ready.
We were talking about how to prepare for the unexpected, and we said we want to maintain a positive and mental attitude and a lot of strong faith that it takes to do that. And also that we need to be flexible with the way that we do business, because we get set into a pattern and we say, oh no, this has to be on Monday, this has to be on Tuesday, or we have to do certain things per year. We do so many fairs, so many shows. And we have to be flexible so that it's all fluid and it can change at any time and depending on circumstances. And then, of course, like Marian always says, you have to keep your creativity in your back pocket because that's when you need it. When something happens that you didn't expect, you need to have your creativity so that you can create something new and continue.
I like it. That's that little box that you got to get out of.
That's right. And you have to create new products that will assist the humanity. So it's a good thing to think about that. How can I do that? That's what these corporations were doing when they were going from being a brewer to making the hand sanitizers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Had nothing to do with their business. But they weren't doing any business anyway. So why not create something new that would be for the humanity that they could be making money on? And so it's something like that. It's thinking outside of the box of what you normally do and think, well, how can I do something that will help humanity and get things going and still be able to make a profit?
Right. And your employees working.
Yeah, exactly. And also to create products or services that will be needed in times of disaster or emergencies, because that way you always have a backup plan. And this is what happens with a lot of psychotherapists. You know, they do psychotherapy because people are getting divorced. Somebody died, which is so similar to my business. But then when something happens like a disaster, then you have to work on people's fears, the panic, the insecurity. Where are we going with this? What's the end? And so therefore, you have to think about that, how you're going to be able to transition to something else that's going to help. And so that definitely is very, very important. And focus on the basic needs we all have. That's the key. If you can find a business that will help that.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
okay. If you can do something that will be able to help the basic needs of people. It's like if you're a company that has a paper company and you do usually regular paper things and you turn it into doing toilet paper, look how much people were looking for toilet paper. So that's a perfect example of taking something and applying it to people's needs. And maintaining communication and contact with your community and outreach organizations, that is so important. Because if you don't know what's going on out there, your business is going to be so behind the times. You have to keep up with the times. You have to keep up with what's going on. And all the civil rights thing, I lived through it in the 60s, did that, done that, was there. I was in Chicago when they were doing the riots. So it's like, we're not going back again to that again, But, the objective is a good one. But when you have infiltrators that come in and disturb everything and, mix up the pot, and that doesn't help. That does not help. But I'm hoping that there will be a change that will happen out of all that. But that's a perfect example. You have something that the community wants. How can we best serve the community? And I agree that changing some of the laws would help. But yes, sometimes, the police get too militarized, where they become, controllers, manipulators, instead of helping the public, because that's what they're there for, is to help us. When we're in a jam, we don't have that, gun. We don't have what we can do to defend ourselves. That's what they're supposed to be there for. So,
and there's so many good police. It's just those bad apples that make all the police look bad.
That's
but
right.
Sometimes we don't think about that.
Yeah. And my brother's son, he's a policeman in Waller County. And I support the police. I think that they do a great job. But like you said, Lady Lou, there's some people that are just not doing what they should be doing, and makes everybody look bad. So our community and outreach organizations are really good, because they're the quickest ones to tell you, we need this, or we need that, or, our community needs more outreach conferences and things like that. We don't even think about that. You're thinking so much about your business. This is what I do, and that's it. But you don't think about reaching out to those nonprofits and these community things. And it is a great source for anybody's business. It doesn't matter what business you're in. You should definitely be doing that. It is very profitable. This would be including like the psychic fairs, the holistic fairs. I just found one for Steve Baker, our friend, mutual friend, the other day, that it was it's a fair for seniors, and it's a holistic health fair. And he didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. I found it in All Events Incorporated. And in All Events Incorporated, they have all kinds of artistic fairs, community fairs. And this is something that was happening in Pearland this month, but they do it every month. And next month it's going to be in Houston. And
They
so
do
they
it.
put it,
Is it virtual or is it live?
no, it's live.
Oh,
Well,
So
that
I
doesn't make
said,
sense. You can't really have a congregation right now with the COVID. So you
well,
sure
I
it's
sent them.
you
I
sure
sent
it's
them all the
physical?
information. I sent them all the information, and they were talking about being in Pearland Live. They have a large location where they're going to be able to be separate, not
space.
all clumped together.
Nice.
But I thought it was a really good idea, and I had never heard of it. And and it being holistic, even Red would be able to be in there and do some good in that area. So it's something that would be multiple uses for people. And if you're like, I have a friend also that she has a medical supply company, that would be
Oh,
perfect for her.
I
Yes.
bet you she's doing really well right now.
Yeah, she is. That's another one. Talk about the needs of the community and all that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You know, any kind of groceries or delivery services. I mean, they are
Yeah.
just like going crazy. Zoom, I'm going to put this out there right now. Talk about being able to be flexible with your business. They grew 86% in 3 months,
Oh, yeah.
and they can't hire enough people to handle it all. And as a matter of fact, my Zoom account was compromised, and
Yeah,
they sent me a note that said they can't even accept my ticket. They won't even talk to me until July unless I'm, on their business account, which is like $250 or something. I thought, wow, is it time to move to
incredible.
like Blue Jeans or something like that? But we got to give them flexibility, though. We got to try to understand that this is hard
Yeah.
times, difficult times, like what you're talking about
Unexpected.
today.
Unexpected. Yes. Yes. And look at Amazon. Amazon needs 100,000 employees. 100,000 employees.
For delivery?
For everything, for the
Phone
phone,
support.
customer service, delivery, everything,
Wow.
because they've grown that much, just like
Uh,
Zoom. It's all
Well,
of a sudden,
certain businesses do take off in hard times, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about is the community outreach organizations. They tell you right away what they need. And so if you can fulfill that need or that service, it doesn't have to be a product, it can be a service, then that's a great way to do it. I'm sure a lot of these places are looking for venues where they can speak out and people can hear their message, which is perfect for what Marian and you guys are doing. And they just don't know that you exist.
Yeah. Interesting.
Any ideas? Any ideas of that? So if you put out the word and you contact just one person in a nonprofit or one of these community organizations, you'll have a bunch of speakers.
That's right. That's right. Because they have very good skills. They fill niches that we don't even know about.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. And see, they're organized in their little group, but they don't know how to get that word out to the large community, to the universal community. And that's where you would come in to be able to do that.
Well, they need Marian's service where she does podcasts for them or with them, depending on how they want it, because that's going to start growing, because they need a show like ours, don't they, Christi?
Exactly. And they need Miss Lou so that you could do the interviews for them.
Yeah.
And the thing that's good with that is that you have to think further down the line. If you think further down the line, you get in touch with somebody in that organization, they've got contacts which are really good. City of Houston, governmental organizations, that again, you would be able to tap that because you're in touch with them.
Yeah, and live streaming video has become the thing.
The thing, yes. Just like YouTube used to be the thing, now live stream is the thing. Yeah. And it's going out to who knows where, what corner, what pocket do we not know where it is?
We have people from Thailand and where else, Mary?
Exactly.
they're listening to our podcast. They're not necessarily watching the videos, but we put all of our shows on the podcast platforms. Where are some of the other places, Marian?
Oh my God, there's like 10 different countries, and I'm like, whoa. Do they even speak English over there? I'm surprised they're listening to us, but they are.
It's like
listening to us on our podcast. That's great.
When I was doing my online radio.
One of the things that I do, I'm sorry, Christy, hold on one second. One of the things that I do on the intro for the podcast, you should go listen to it because it's kind of funny. I say, look, I know you're listening to this on a podcast, but if you want to see what we look like and make fun of us, you need to come over to our live stream on YouTube and Facebook and please say hello. Because, a lot of people they don't have video, they don't have the capability,
all the technology,
internet, the technology, but they can certainly listen on a podcast. So it is possible and it is probable that it can go out. Your message, whatever it happens to be, can go out to the masses.
And it's hard for people to fathom that unless they've had the show like yours or like mine that was online, and we'd have people from Russia, asking questions on the computer feed, and then we would answer on live, But we had people from Spain, from Hungary. We didn't know they spoke Spanish over there, but they did. And it was amazing, So we had all these different countries that we never thought they would hear the show, but they did. And so now we're going back to doing a show again, but this time we're doing one in English and one in Spanish.
Perfect.
And, when you're doing the show, you're thinking about right here, this area, Houston.
Yes.
But you're not thinking about back in Thailand or in Philippines or, and it really is amazing how far it reaches.
Christy, what will your show be about?
It'll be the same old topics, the paranormal, the UFOs, and we're going to give 15 minutes to world events.
Perfect.
Because there's so much happening in Australia, and Argentina right now is the last hold on democracy in South America.
Oh.
And they've got the New World Order in all the other countries except that one. And so they're trying to hold their own and stay democratic. And so they're rioting. They're rioting in their country. And Chile is doing it, but they've already been taken over by the New World Order. So, yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing what's going on in the whole world. It's not just here, it's everything that's going on. Yeah. And also wanted to say that when you create your team, your employees, your associates that you collaborate with, that is what makes your program strong. Who are your team members? Your employees are so valuable. And I think a lot of businesses miss that because they're thinking about the bottom line, or because they're thinking about, well, they're such a headache. My employees, sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't, so you have all that, but they are so important to your business, because without that, it's very difficult to run a business by yourself, only by yourself. If I didn't have volunteers that helped me in my business, it would be very difficult. Very difficult.
Yes, I agree. And that could go with any business that you own.
It doesn't matter.
A startup, something that's been happening a long time. It's nerve-wracking. Sometimes it's causes a lot of fear when you try to bring other people in because they have different ideas, different personalities. And that's where the communication comes in, right? You need to make sure that everybody is very aware that this is, a democratic society, and all ideas will be heard.
That's right. And you seek those people that are specialists in their skills and knowledge for the times that you need in your business, because it can change. I heard a meow. Lady.
Yeah. He wants
I know it wasn't you.
He wants to run right across. Let him. Go ahead and let him.
Okay.
Okay. Come on, Blackie.
Come on in, Blackie. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, Blackie.
Now he doesn't want to come.
Are you shy?
Here he comes. Here he comes.
So
There
one of
he
the
is.
one of the tips that I can bring to the table about what you're saying is, Christy, is like if you want to do video or you want to do audio, sometimes it just is overwhelming if you think about doing it yourself. What am
Oh,
I going to say? How am I going to, it's just sometimes it's very important if you think about finding a partner, somebody who is aligned with you and your values, even if they're
mhm.
not in the same industry, you could do
Oh,
videos
yeah.
together.
Well, that's
And
where we need you, Marian, because you're the one that teaches us all these platforms and which one is the best one. When I started with you and Russ a long time ago, that was one of my predicaments. It was like, okay, I want to do this, but there's so many platforms and there's so many things. Which one is the best one for my business? And only you can answer that.
That's right.
Because you know the different platforms and what each ones are used for. And so that helped a lot when you were able to define, okay, this platform is for this. You want to do this, then you need to do YouTube. You want to do this, then you need Zoom. And so, that's very helpful because when you're in the business, you're focusing on your business. You're not focusing on the technology. But now we've gone through all this change. Now we have to focus on technology with the business. Otherwise, guess what? There's no business.
Oh,
Have you
Christy,
found that to be true?
Christy, you take clients on. You're a coach, a business coach, correct?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So who is
But
the
I've been,
typical type of business owner or consulting that you like to do?
well, I do both the business and I do the spiritual and self-development and holding their hand while they're going through the death of their brother and, so all that stuff. But when we're talking about the business, I have small businesses that get in touch with me and say, it's not working. My passion is there. I really want this to grow, but I'm not getting enough clients, or I'm not getting the type of clients that I need. And then we have to look at it. We have to do the analysis to find out, is this in production? Is this quality service? Is it customer service? Is it in the employees, what they're not doing? Because your employees represent your business. And if you have employees that are not taking that responsibility and they just think of it as a job, then they're not going to bring you in the clients that you need. So,
Right.
I mean, all those things are so important. So I take an analysis of all that and then tell them, this is what needs to be improved. This is what needs to be tweaked. And you'll see the immediate changes that begin to happen. And also with like the coronavirus, I had so many businesses that called me and said, well, Christi, my business is closed because of the coronavirus. I don't have any money and I don't know what to do. And I said, wait, let's go back. Okay, coronavirus, your business is closed. You don't have any money. Why do you not have any money? Well, because the business is closed. Oh, so is that the only thing you could do? I mean, that's where the creativity comes in. Okay, then I need to create something new. What else can I do that can create some income? Hello,
That's
and
right.
then we go into tips. We go into video. We go into other things that Patreon. Marian introduced me to Patreon. Look at Patreon, make you money. All you have to do is put a little bit of time into it. And if you don't want to do it, call Marian. She'll do it for you and just and be able to still make money on it. So there's so many things that you can do. It's just people get stuck and they go, okay, the door closed. Now what am I going to do? No, you need to start opening other doors and see what else is there that you can do. And that openness to your business always think about what if it did close? What if, let's say we had no more internet, which we know they've been talking about that for a long time. Yeah. So
Say it's not so.
If there was no more internet, what would you do? How would you continue doing your business without the internet?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's things that we need to be thinking about, you know.
Digging ditches, cleaning sewer pipes. I don't know.
Go to the next door neighbor, see what they need that you can help them with and get paid for it. I mean, you know, it can go to simple, easy things, or it can be something major.
Right. And there's always barter.
Oh, of course. If you go back to the old days when we used to barter, I have this chair, you have those lemons. We can do something here. One of my first businesses, it started out like that. It was small, and I'd have a man come in, and I did a session for him intuitively. So, and he says, I don't have any money. And I said, fine, then what can we exchange? He goes, I have a little bit of yard, and I have some apple trees. Do you want a bushel of apples? I said, that'll work.
That will.
And then I had another lady show up with 2 chickens that she had already killed. And my mom goes, are you going to accept that as cash? I said, why not? They're with it's food, right?
They're fresh.
Yeah, they're fresh. And if you go to the store, you got to pay for it. So, of course. And she was just amazed how I was.
Did he at least pluck the feathers out for you?
No.
Oh,
But
no.
my mom knew how to do it because when she was in Mexico, she was brought up in Mexico. That she used to have to kill the chickens, and she had to pluck them, so she knew how to do that.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I say all these talents that we have
Yeah.
that we just don't use because we don't need them at the moment.
That's
But
right.
we have to think about all these other talents. What else can we do? I mean,
Yeah.
when I was in high school, I took tailoring, and I was able to make skirts and blouses without a pattern, just by measuring them, measuring
Nice.
tape. So
Nice.
I mean, there's talents there that you're not using, but you still know how to do them.
Yeah.
So
Well,
those-
Christi, yeah, you've got a special offer for our audience. Tell us about that.
which one did you choose?
Yeah, oh, well, you said something about a free question and 25% off of your fee.
Yes, they can have either one or both. It doesn't matter to me. When it's a referral, I give them $25 off of the fee. And when they have a question that they need to be answered, like right now, they can call me and I'll be glad to answer it for them. And if I'm busy with a client, I'll get back with them and dedicate time to answer their question.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a deal. I love
That's
that.
always open.
Oh, Christi does great consultations, trust me.
Well, I've enjoyed being with you girls. I love it. And yeah, I could go on.
Well, I tell you, you've given us some really good information, Christi. We so appreciate you coming on. And so glad your internet's back.
Yes, so am I.
Oh, this has been wonderful. So any parting words for us, Christi?
Yes, the parting word is always be optimistic. Never allow yourself to get down. We can be down for an hour, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but we don't have time for that. We're too busy. We have too much to do. There are too many people to help. And, I used to also write a column for the gay and lesbian newspaper that we have in Houston. And I used to write a column, and I used to get a lot of great clients. They were great at paying. They were on time, not like some of my clients, And but I need to look it up to see if they're still in existence to start the column again because it was fun. And I would answer their questions. They would put questions on there, but who would ever think that metaphysics would go with something like that? But why not?
Well, you're the Ann Landers of the business world.
That's right. Ann Landers, a business world of, GBLT and all. I mean, you just have to think outside of the box. What is it? How can you help others?
Perfect. Thank you.
I love
the
it.
energy behind it, right?
It
Right.
is. It is. Wow. This has been wonderful, Christy. Thank you. And thank you, Marian. We
Girls.
appreciate you. And we appreciate our audience so much and all of the ladies who have done questions for us here online. We love the live comments too. So come
Yes.
join us anytime live. We love it. And we thank you again, all of you, for being here on the Daily Reset for Success. Find us on YouTube and on Facebook under Natural Curiosity. So we're going to say goodbye for now. See you
Keep
next
being curious. Bye.
And remember, create a fantastic day for yourself. I know you can do it. I've
Yeah.
got faith.